Have you ever wondered why some people seem to rise in life while others remain stuck in the same place year after year? It is rarely because they are more talented. It is rarely because they are more fortunate. More often, the difference lies in something far quieter. Most people try to improve their lives by adding more goals, more plans, more effort. But real growth often begins with subtraction. Leveling up in life is not just about what you start doing. It is also about what you stop allowing. If you're ready to quietly remove what weakens your mind and finally create space for the life you want, write this in the comment below. I release what holds me back. Let that be the silent decision that begins your true elevation. Here are 10 things you must quietly eliminate if you truly want to level up your life. Number 1. Eliminate the need for constant approval. Living for other people's validation keeps you trapped in hesitation. Every decision becomes filtered through the question, what will others think? When you release the need to be liked by everyone, your choices become clearer and your confidence becomes stronger. The desire for approval is deeply rooted in human nature. For most of human history, survival depended on belonging to a group. Acceptance meant safety, cooperation, and protection. Rejection could mean isolation and danger. Because of this, the human brain evolved to monitor the opinions of others carefully. But in the modern world, this instinct often becomes excessive. Instead of seeking cooperation, people begin seeking universal approval. They want everyone to agree with them, everyone to admire them, everyone to validate their decisions. The Stoics warned that this mindset quietly weakens a person's independence. When approval becomes your primary goal, your behavior begins to change in subtle ways. You soften your opinions to avoid disagreement. You avoid pursuing goals that others might question. You hesitate before making decisions because you imagine the judgment that might follow. Slowly, your life stops being directed by your own values and begins being directed by the expectations of others. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself often that the opinions of others are temporary and unreliable. The same people who praise you today may criticize you tomorrow. Public approval is unstable because it depends on shifting preferences and incomplete understanding. If you allow it to guide your life, your direction will constantly change. Consider how often people abandon meaningful ambitions simply because someone questioned them. A person begins studying a new field, and a friend suggests it is unrealistic. Doubt appears. A person wants to start a business, and relatives express concern. Fear appears. A person adopts healthier habits, and others tease them for being too serious. Embarrassment appears. None of these reactions necessarily come from malice. Often they come from the limited perspective of others. But when approval becomes necessary for action, hesitation becomes permanent. The Stoics believed that a wise person replaces the need for approval with the pursuit of virtue. Instead of asking whether others approve of a decision, they ask whether the decision aligns with reason, integrity, and long-term growth. When that standard becomes your guide, confidence grows naturally, because you are no longer waiting for permission to act. You are acting according to your principles. Releasing the need for approval does not mean becoming arrogant or dismissive of others. It means recognizing that your life cannot be directed by external opinions alone. Some people will approve of your decisions, others will disagree. Both reactions are inevitable, but neither should determine the direction of your character. When you remove the constant need for validation, you gain something far more valuable: freedom of judgment. Number 2, eliminate the habit of negative self-talk. The voice in your mind shapes your reality more than you realize. If you constantly criticize yourself or expect failure, your actions will follow that belief. Eliminating destructive inner dialogue allows you to approach challenges with courage rather than doubt. The Stoics believed that the greatest influence over a person's life is not external events, but internal interpretation. Two individuals may experience the same difficulty, yet their responses can be completely different. One interprets the challenge as proof of failure, the other interprets it as an opportunity to learn. The difference lies in the conversation happening inside the mind. Negative self-talk is often invisible because it feels normal. People grow accustomed to criticizing themselves. They repeat phrases such as, "I'm not good at this," "I always mess things up," or "This will probably fail anyway." These thoughts may appear harmless, but repetition transforms them into beliefs, and beliefs influence behavior. Imagine someone approaching a difficult task while constantly repeating the idea that they are not capable. Their effort will naturally become hesitant. They will avoid risks. They will abandon the task quickly when obstacles appear. Later, they may interpret the result as proof that their original belief was correct, but the belief itself shaped the outcome. The Stoics practiced what they called the discipline of thought. They examined their mental reactions carefully and questioned assumptions that lacked evidence. When a negative thought appeared, they asked whether it reflected reality or simply emotion. For example, if the mind says, "I will fail," the Stoic response is not blind optimism. It is rational inquiry. What evidence supports this conclusion? Have I prepared adequately? What can I improve? By questioning the thought instead of accepting it, the mind regains control. Eliminating negative self-talk does not mean pretending that every situation will succeed. It means refusing to sabotage your own effort before the attempt has even begun. A disciplined inner voice speaks differently. Instead of saying, "I cannot do this," it asks, "What must I learn to do this?" Instead of saying, "This is impossible," it asks, "What small step can I take next?" These subtle changes in language transform the emotional atmosphere of your mind. Courage replaces doubt because the focus shifts from judgment to action. Over time, the internal dialogue becomes an ally rather than an enemy, and when your own mind begins supporting your effort instead of undermining it, your ability to face challenges increases dramatically. Number 3. Eliminate wasting time spent on meaningless distractions. Endless scrolling, constant entertainment, and mindless habits slowly consume hours that could have been used to grow. Eliminating these distractions creates space for learning, reflection, and productivity. The Stoics treated time as one of the most valuable resources a person possesses. Unlike money or possessions, time cannot be recovered once it passes. Every hour spent today becomes part of the past tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that life is limited and unpredictable. Because of this, wasting time on trivial matters was not simply inefficient, it was a form of self-neglect. In the modern world, distractions are more abundant than ever before. Devices constantly deliver new information, entertainment, and social interaction. These tools can be useful when used intentionally, but when used unconsciously, they become powerful sources of distraction. Many people do not realize how much time disappears through small moments of digital habit. 5 minutes checking notifications becomes 30. A short video becomes an hour of scrolling. By the end of the day, several hours have vanished without producing anything meaningful. The Stoics would not condemn technology itself, but they would question whether your attention is being directed intentionally or stolen automatically. Attention is the foundation of progress. Whatever receives your attention repeatedly begins shaping your thoughts, emotions, and priorities. If your attention constantly shifts toward trivial entertainment, your ability to focus on meaningful goals weakens. Eliminating meaningless distraction does not require extreme measures. It begins with awareness. Notice how often you reach for stimulation simply because silence feels uncomfortable. Notice how easily your focus drifts when a task becomes challenging. Each moment of awareness creates an opportunity to reclaim your attention. Replace some of that time with activities that strengthen your mind. Read ideas that challenge your thinking. Practice skills that expand your abilities. Reflect on your decisions and habits. These activities may feel slower than instant entertainment, but they produce lasting benefits. Over time, your ability to concentrate improves, your understanding deepens, and the hours that once disappeared quietly begin contributing to your growth. The Stoics believed that a life directed by intention is far more satisfying than a life directed by impulse. When you eliminate the distractions that steal your attention, you gain the ability to direct your time toward what truly matters. Number 4. Eliminate relationships that drain your energy. Some people constantly bring negativity, criticism, or drama into your life. You do not need to confront them loudly, but quietly creating distance protects your focus and emotional balance. The Stoics placed enormous importance on the company a person keeps because they understood that human beings influence each other far more than they realize. Thoughts spread through conversation. Habits spread through imitation. Attitudes spread through repeated exposure. When someone spends enough time around individuals who constantly complain, criticize, and create unnecessary drama, those patterns begin appearing in their own mind without conscious intention. This influence does not require malicious people. Sometimes the individuals draining your energy are not evil or intentionally harmful. They may simply be trapped in patterns of pessimism, insecurity, or constant conflict. Yet the effect on your mind remains the same. Conversations become filled with problems rather than solutions. Interactions leave you feeling mentally exhausted instead of encouraged. Your focus slowly shifts away from growth and toward emotional turbulence. The Stoics did not advise cruelty toward such individuals. They did not believe in loudly confronting everyone who brings negativity into your life. Instead, they practiced something quieter and more strategic: distance. Distance is often misunderstood as rejection, but in Stoic philosophy, it is a form of self-preservation. You cannot maintain clarity of thought while constantly surrounded by emotional chaos. Imagine trying to concentrate on reading while someone repeatedly interrupts you with loud noise. Eventually, your focus disappears. The same principle applies to relationships. When your environment constantly produces conflict, your mental energy becomes consumed by reaction rather than progress. Quietly creating distance allows your attention to return to what matters. This may involve spending less time in conversations that revolve around gossip or complaints. It may involve limiting how much emotional responsibility you accept for other people's problems. It may involve choosing to invest more time with individuals who pursue improvement rather than stagnation. The Stoics believed that character develops through association. When you surround yourself with people who value discipline, integrity, patience, and rational thinking, those qualities gradually become part of your own behavior. But when you remain in environments where negativity dominates, the mind absorbs those attitudes like water soaking into cloth. Many people hesitate to create distance because they fear appearing disloyal or uncaring. But protecting your mental clarity does not mean abandoning compassion. You can wish someone well while recognizing that their habits are not compatible with your direction. You can treat them respectfully while refusing to let their patterns dominate your life. The Stoics believed a peaceful mind requires intentional boundaries. Without those boundaries, your attention becomes scattered across the emotional storms of others. With them, your energy remains directed toward your own development. Number 5. Eliminate fear of starting small. Many people delay their goals because they believe success must begin with a dramatic step. In reality, meaningful progress often begins with small actions repeated consistently. Removing the fear of humble beginnings allows momentum to grow. Pride often disguises itself in subtle ways. One of the most common forms appears as resistance to small beginnings. People imagine their goals in grand terms. They envision dramatic achievements, rapid recognition, and impressive outcomes. But when the first step appears modest, they hesitate. Starting small feels insignificant compared to the vision in their mind. Yet the Stoics recognized that nearly every meaningful achievement begins quietly. Great skill begins with awkward practice. Great influence begins with unnoticed contributions. Great strength begins with small effort repeated daily. Consider how often people delay pursuing something meaningful because the first step feels too small to matter. Someone wants to write but refuses to begin with short attempts because they imagine producing something extraordinary immediately. Someone wants to start a business but delays action because the early stage feels unimpressive compared to established companies. Someone wants to improve their health but postpones exercise because they feel their current ability is too limited. These delays create a dangerous illusion, the belief that progress requires dramatic beginnings. But the Stoics believed progress follows a different pattern. Momentum grows through repetition. Each small action strengthens the next one. Each modest improvement builds confidence for larger efforts. When someone overcomes the fear of starting small, they unlock the most reliable engine of growth: consistency. Imagine a person who decides to study a new skill for only 20 minutes every day. The commitment feels minor at first. The results appear small during the early weeks, but over months and years, those minutes accumulate into thousands of hours of learning. Eventually, observers may see the result and assume natural talent or sudden success, but what they are witnessing is the quiet accumulation of small actions. The Stoics valued humility precisely because it allows someone to accept these beginnings without embarrassment. A humble person understands that mastery grows through patience. They do not demand immediate recognition or perfection. Instead, they focus on steady improvement. Fear of starting small often comes from imagining the judgment of others. Someone worries that people will dismiss their early attempts, but the Stoics reminded themselves that the opinions of others are temporary and irrelevant to genuine progress. The only opinion that matters during the beginning stage is your own commitment to improvement. Once you remove the fear of humble beginnings, action becomes easier. Instead of waiting for the perfect dramatic step, you begin with what is possible today. And once movement begins, progress becomes inevitable. Number 6. Eliminate excuses disguised as reasons. Everyone faces challenges, but turning obstacles into permanent excuses stops progress completely. When you eliminate excuses, you begin searching for solutions instead. The human mind possesses an extraordinary ability to justify inaction. When confronted with a difficult task or uncomfortable responsibility, it quickly generates explanations that make avoidance feel reasonable. These explanations often sound convincing because they contain elements of truth. Circumstances may indeed be difficult. Resources may indeed be limited. Time may indeed feel scarce. But the Stoics distinguished between acknowledging difficulty and surrendering to it. An excuse transforms a temporary challenge into a permanent barrier. Instead of asking how the obstacle might be overcome, the mind begins explaining why progress is impossible. Consider someone who wants to improve their career but says they cannot learn new skills because they are too busy. Another person in the same situation may have similar time constraints, yet still find small periods each day to study. The difference is not circumstance but interpretation. One mind treats difficulty as a reason to stop. The other treats it as a problem to solve. The Stoics believed that excuses often hide a deeper fear. Sometimes the fear is failure. If you never attempt something difficult, you never risk discovering your limitations. Sometimes the fear is effort. Improvement requires discipline, and discipline demands discomfort. By creating an excuse, the mind protects itself from both possibilities. But this protection carries a cost: stagnation. When excuses disappear, something interesting happens. The mind becomes creative. Instead of explaining why progress cannot happen, it begins asking how it might happen despite the difficulty. Perhaps you cannot dedicate hours each day to improvement, but you can dedicate minutes. Perhaps resources are limited, but you can use what is available more efficiently. Perhaps the path forward is slower than expected, but it remains possible. The Stoics practiced radical responsibility for their actions. They acknowledged circumstances honestly, but they refuse to allow those circumstances to dictate their effort completely. This mindset transforms obstacles into challenges rather than barriers. And once challenges replace excuses, the path toward progress begins to reappear. Number 7. Eliminate the habit of comparison. Comparing your progress to others creates unnecessary frustration. Every person's journey moves at a different pace. When you focus on improving yourself instead of measuring against others, growth becomes more meaningful. Comparison is one of the most subtle obstacles to progress because it disguises itself as motivation. At first, looking at what others have achieved can inspire effort. It can show what is possible. It can reveal standards of excellence. But when comparison becomes constant, it stops being a source of inspiration and becomes a source of discouragement. The Stoics believed that each person travels through life with different circumstances, experiences, and starting points. Some begin with advantages, others begin with obstacles. Some discover their direction early, others require years of exploration before clarity appears. When you measure your progress against someone else's timeline, you ignore the complexity of those differences. Consider how often people feel dissatisfied not because their lives lack progress, but because someone else appears to be moving faster. A person improves their career steadily for several years, but after seeing someone else achieve rapid success, their own progress suddenly feels inadequate. Another person develops strong habits and discipline, yet feels frustrated because someone they know appears to advance more quickly. In both cases, the comparison distorts reality. Progress that should feel meaningful becomes overshadowed by someone else's outcome. The Stoics warn that comparison places your peace of mind in the hands of circumstances you cannot control. There will always be someone who has more wealth, more recognition, or more visible success. If your satisfaction depends on surpassing others, it will remain fragile. Instead, the Stoics encouraged focusing on a simpler measurement: your own improvement. Ask whether you are wiser today than you were yesterday. Ask whether your habits are stronger than they were last year. Ask whether your character reflects greater patience, discipline, and clarity than it once did. This form of measurement creates stability because it depends only on your effort. When comparison disappears, attention returns to the only path that truly matters, the one directly in front of you. Instead of racing against other people's timelines, you begin refining your own. Over time, this shift produces something far more valuable than external competition: internal mastery. Number 8. Eliminate comfort that prevents growth. Comfort feels safe, but too much comfort prevents development. Eliminating habits that keep you stuck in familiar routines allows you to explore new skills and opportunities. The Stoics understood that comfort is one of the most powerful forces shaping human behavior. The mind naturally prefers what feels familiar and predictable. Familiar environments require little effort to navigate. Familiar routines demand minimal thought. Within this space, life feels stable and manageable, but stability can easily become stagnation. When comfort becomes the primary goal, growth begins to disappear. People remain in situations that no longer challenge them. They repeat habits that maintain the present instead of expanding the future. Slowly, their abilities stop evolving because nothing requires them to adapt. Imagine someone who has developed a routine that feels completely safe. They perform the same tasks every day. They interact with the same people. They avoid situations that might introduce uncertainty or difficulty. For a while, this environment may feel peaceful, but over time, something subtle begins to happen. Curiosity fades, ambition weakens. Skills that once felt sharp become dull through lack of use. The Stoics believed that occasional discomfort is necessary for growth. Just as muscles strengthen through resistance, character strengthens through challenge. When you deliberately place yourself in situations that require effort and learning, you expand your capabilities. This does not mean pursuing reckless risk or constant stress. It means recognizing when comfort has quietly turned into limitation. Perhaps it means learning a skill that initially feels difficult. Perhaps it means pursuing opportunities that involve uncertainty. Perhaps it means confronting habits that once felt harmless but now prevent improvement. Each time you step beyond comfort, your confidence grows. You discover that uncertainty is not always dangerous. You learn that new environments contain possibilities rather than threats. Over time, the boundary of what feels comfortable expands. What once felt intimidating becomes familiar. What once seemed impossible becomes manageable. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort as a form of training. They occasionally deprived themselves of luxuries or convenience to remind themselves that happiness does not depend on comfort alone. This practice strengthened resilience. When difficulty appeared unexpectedly, they were already prepared to face it. Eliminating excessive comfort does not remove peace from your life. Instead, it replaces passive stability with active growth. And growth produces a deeper form of confidence, the knowledge that you can adapt when circumstances change. Number 9. Overthinking every decision. Careful thinking is valuable, but constant analysis can lead to paralysis. Eliminating the habit of overthinking allows you to act, adjust, and learn through experience. Thought is one of the greatest tools human beings possess. Through reflection and reasoning, people plan complex projects, solve difficult problems, and anticipate future consequences. But the Stoics recognized that thought can become excessive. When analysis replaces action, the mind begins moving in circles rather than forward. Eliminate. Overthinking often appears when someone faces uncertainty. They want to choose the perfect option, avoid every possible mistake, and ensure the outcome will succeed. But reality rarely offers complete certainty. Every meaningful decision contains unknown variables. When someone insists on eliminating all uncertainty before acting, they often delay indefinitely. Consider how many opportunities disappear because someone spent too long evaluating them. A person considers starting a new venture, but spends months analyzing every possible risk. By the time they decide, the opportunity has passed. Another person wants to learn a new skill but spends weeks researching the best method instead of beginning practice. Eventually, the enthusiasm fades before action ever begins. The Stoics believed that experience often teaches more than speculation. Instead of attempting to predict every outcome, they recommended acting with reasonable judgment and adjusting as new information appears. This approach transforms mistakes into learning rather than disasters. Imagine someone navigating a new path through unfamiliar territory. If they stand still, analyzing every possible direction, they never discover which path leads forward. But if they begin walking and adjust their course as they observe the terrain, progress becomes possible. Overthinking prevents this movement. The Stoics practiced a balance between reflection and action. They examined their decisions carefully, but refused to remain trapped in endless deliberation. Once a reasonable conclusion appeared, they acted. If the outcome proved imperfect, they learned from it and refined their approach. Eliminating overthinking does not mean abandoning careful judgment. It means recognizing when thinking has reached its useful limit. Beyond that point, action becomes the only way to gather new information. And information gained through experience often proves more valuable than theories formed in hesitation. Number 10. Eliminate. The belief that change must be dramatic. Many people expect transformation to feel like a sudden breakthrough. In reality, most powerful changes happen quietly through small daily improvements. When you accept gradual progress, consistency becomes easier. The idea of dramatic transformation is appealing because it promises immediate results. Stories of overnight success, sudden enlightenment, or instant improvement capture attention. They suggest that one powerful decision can change everything instantly. But the Stoics understood that lasting change rarely occurs this way. Most meaningful transformation unfolds slowly through habits repeated day after day. Consider how physical strength develops. A single workout produces little visible change, but months of consistent training gradually transform the body. The same principle applies to character, knowledge, and discipline. Each small improvement builds upon the previous one. Over time, the accumulation becomes powerful. The danger of expecting dramatic change is that it discourages patience. When someone begins a new habit and does not see immediate results, they conclude that the effort is ineffective. They abandon the practice before the gradual benefits appear. This cycle repeats until the person believes they lack the ability to transform. But the problem was never ability. The problem was expectation. The Stoics valued steady progress over sudden excitement. They believed that improving even one small aspect of your character each day eventually produces profound change. Imagine someone who commits to reading a few pages of thoughtful material every morning. The effort appears small, but after a year they have absorbed the ideas of multiple books. Their perspective expands, their thinking becomes clearer. Over several years, this habit transforms their intellectual foundation, yet the transformation occurred quietly, without dramatic moments. Accepting gradual change removes the pressure for perfection. You no longer need to become a completely different person overnight. Instead, you focus on becoming slightly better today than yesterday. That improvement may feel modest, but its long-term impact is enormous. The Stoics believed that consistency is more powerful than intensity. A small action repeated daily eventually surpasses a dramatic effort performed occasionally. When you release the expectation of sudden transformation, discipline becomes easier because the process feels sustainable. Leveling up your life is not about becoming someone completely different overnight. It is about removing the obstacles that keep your best self from emerging. When you eliminate habits, thoughts, and influences that weaken you, growth begins to happen naturally. The Stoics believe that every person already possesses the potential for wisdom, courage, discipline, and clarity. These qualities do not need to be imported from outside sources. They emerge when distractions, fears, and destructive patterns are removed. Imagine a sculptor shaping a statue from a block of stone. The statue does not appear because something new is added. It appears because unnecessary material is removed. In the same way, personal growth often involves subtraction rather than addition. Remove the need for approval, and independence appears. Remove negative self-talk, and confidence appears. Remove distractions, and focus appears. Remove draining relationships, and emotional stability appears. Each elimination reveals a stronger version of yourself that was already present beneath the noise. The Stoics practiced this process throughout their lives. They examined their habits continuously, asking which behaviors strengthened their character and which weakened it. Whenever they discovered something that undermined their clarity, they removed it quietly. Over time, this discipline created a mind that was difficult to disturb and a life directed by purpose rather than impulse. When you apply the same principle, improvement becomes simpler. Instead of overwhelming yourself with countless new goals, you begin by removing the obstacles that block your progress. With each removal, energy returns, focus sharpens, confidence grows, and the path forward becomes easier to follow. Say this to yourself: nothing can limit, my start will shine.